and welcome or welcome back to another episode of Black Hair in the Big Leagues. Good morning, you guys. It is a beautiful day in New York City, and it is still Black History Month. You guys, I'm so excited. I'm talking to two wonderful guests today. I just saw them on stage on Broadway in their show, and so I'm going to introduce them, and then let's get it started. Ha! Okay, so first up on the docket, we've got a singer, songwriter, a choreographer, and the creator of You Fly Mothership. And I got to see her with my own eyes. She is an amazing performer and dancer and vocalist, a graduate from Spelman College. Come on, former touring member of Urban Bushwomen, let's go, and making her Broadway debut in American Utopia. Y'all help me welcome Tendayi Kuumba! The crowd goes wild. Welcome, Tendayi.
Hello. Oh my gosh. What an introduction, girl. You are doing it.
Oh,
yes, thank you. I'm so
good
proud.
morning. Thank you for getting up this morning. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Just use her intro for me too.
Oh, that's the rock star.
And as you can hear, we've got another guest. Let's see. My next guest, she is a musician. Y'all, there's a special place in my heart for musicians and a total, and I really mean this from the depths of my soul, a total badass. She kills it on guitar and has worked with will.i.am, CeeLo Green, Billy Porter in Vogue, and Adam Lambert. She's toured with Cirque du Soleil and returns to Broadway as a guitarist in American Utopia. Y'all put your hands together for Angie Swan. Woo, woo, woo.
I'm returning to Broadway. I think this is my first time on Broadway.
You know what? Everything I read said returning, and I was like, oh my goodness, where else? I wonder if they counted Cirque or not.
I think they may return because we did it in 2019.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I think
so this is our return to the second go round.
Either way, good to be here.
Thank you guys for joining me this morning. I know it's early. I'm not even in a show right now, and I can feel that it's early. So thanks for getting up. Which, by the way, I would like to ask you, so you guys started the show in 2019. It opened, it wasn't at the St. James at the time, right? That's where Frozen was. So where were you guys?
We were at the Hudson Theater at the time, and we started on Broadway in 2019. Before that, we had done the world tour in 2018.
That's incredible. So both of you guys have toured with this show.
Yes.
Yep. The world tour and the Broadway.
So I'd like to ask you both, and we can start with you, Tendayi. How did David Byrne, or how did this show come into your life?
By way of the assistant choreographer, Lizzie DeMint. Her and I worked in a workshop in a rock opera with Jim Finley a while ago. And I guess in the midst of them getting the show together, they were looking for someone to hold down and replace the role that I hold as the background vocalist dancer that could hold on to the movement through the tour. So I was coming off of doing another show, and I got off a plane and got an email from David Byrne. In all lowercase letters saying, do you want to join my band? So that's literally what happened. I got an email from David, and I thought it was spam because it was like just so casual. It was way too casual. Is this real? Followed up and followed through, and then I jumped in on the tour about 2 months in after they had already begun touring, and continued on for the rest of the world tour, and so on and so on.
That's amazing. What city did you join in?
I joined in Atlanta, my hometown. So they made it that much easier. Yeah, to be able to come to Atlanta and that be my first show, and it was a festival, a Shaky Knees festival. So that was a nice omen to get things started.
Were your knees shaking?
My
knees shaking? It was the first show.
They're definitely shaking because I learned the whole show in 2 weeks without meeting everyone because they were all on tour. So I met the whole band the morning of my first show. I never got a chance to rehearse with them. I just hopped in and hopped on stage and had to memorize everything before meeting them. So my knees are definitely shaking because I was like, I don't even know you, and I have to run around on stage with you right now. Yeah.
Hello, testing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Gosh, I'm cutting in and out. Sorry, girl. Sorry, you guys.
Your XLR cable's not plugged in all the way. Push it down a little bit.
There she is. Come on, guitar tech.
That's not even a guitar, but yeah, I got it.
Hello.
I know, you got the nod.
Is that better, Angie? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can hear you better. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. And see, we're talking to pros here, folks. Me not. I'm talking about them. Angie, how did this world find you? How did David come to you, this tour?
Well, it's kind of similar story with the lowercase emails. Well, actually, one of my old college professors wrote me on Facebook of all places. And she said, and I hadn't spoken to her like for about 5 years or something. And she said I was living in Milwaukee at the time. And she said this artist was looking for a guitar player that could sing. But you have to live in New York City. And this was in like July 2017. And I was like, I'm not going to just move to New York for anybody. Who is this person? And she says, David Byrne. And I'm like, and I had gone to Berklee College of Music where, Annie Clark was also St. Vincent, who worked with David. We knew each other in school and I knew she had worked with him. And I've always been a Talking Heads fan. And so I'm like, oh, wow. Well, if he'll let me audition online, I'd love to give it a go. And I was surprised I didn't find what they were looking for in New York City at the time. So I sent that in and then they wanted a bunch of recommendation letters. I actually
letters of rec.
Well, yeah, recommendation from like the music director of Cirque du Soleil or other companies I'd worked with.
Wow.
But what was really funny is my audition song. I did a couple Talking Head songs and then Childish Gambino, Redbone. That was my audition song I used and sent it off. And I hadn't heard from him. And I said, all right, I guess I didn't get it. It was in my junk mail box, his lowercase email. It just said, my tour and you. Hi, period. My name's David Byrne, period. I listened to your tapes. I have a tour coming up and I'd love for you to be a part of it. If you're interested, let me know.
And it got sent straight to spam because that's what all those spam emails look like.
And, and I was just bored that day and I was just like, oh, I have nothing going on. And I'm like, all right, let me just, I think a Planned Parenthood commercial came on talking about, make sure you get CD checked and always junk. So I checked my junk mail and then I'm embellishing, but yeah. No, I checked my junk mail and that's where the letter was. And so I wrote him back and flew out to New York like a week later to meet him. And, then another month later, I moved out to New York for rehearsals. So.
It's incredible. The both of you fit so well in this show, in this company, vibrationally, energetically. It seems like such a fit. I enjoy like watching you guys like have little looks at each other. I'm like, oh, I wonder what that moment is for them. Like,
she's probably looking at the corn on my toe.
Oh no, the corn's looking at me.
It waves to you sometimes.
Yeah, we have a whole bond.
You guys, it's really great. And I'm gonna like, y'all don't get mad at me. But before the show, I didn't realize who David Byrne was. And I didn't know, like, okay, American Utopia, a lot of times I like to go into shows and not know anything about it. This is one of those times. And so we start the show with an old white man holding a brain. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Okay. And the set, I'm like, the set is so simple. What is this? It took me a couple minutes. I'm like, what is going on? And he breaks fourth wall right away. I'm like, oh, okay. But then the music starts. I'm like, okay. Okay. And at some point I lean over to my assistant and I was like, I'm not sure what's going on yet, but I'm into it. And she was like, me too.
Wow.
Y'all, this is I've never seen a show like this.
Mm.
And so it makes sense that like, okay, you guys were on tour. I'm like, wait, who's the dad? Wait, nope, it's not that. It's not that. You like the band, you guys are the show. You're the show. It is so great. And I'm like, okay, starting to recognize some of the music. Did you guys always know who David Byrne was?
Yeah, I've been a Talking Heads fan since the 80s, 90s.
You're like yes.
I'd see his videos as a kid. He was just very always artistic. As a young child, I'd see when MTV actually had music on it, watching videos. And I was just like, 80s videos were so creative. You know, you think about Michael Jackson's Prince's, Talking Heads, and Peter Gabriel. So yeah, I've always just admired his work over the years. And it's groovy music, and his love for world music, you know, really translates and comes through what he plays.
How about you?
I will say I actually did and did not. So it was like I realized it after the fact. I was like, oh, I do know this song. Oh, I do know his music.
Right?
Oh, I did. My aunt used to play this, you know, but not necessarily having that in my catalog. But what's been really, I guess, inspirational or interesting or exciting about it is that I've had this experience of like diving in from just a professional point of having to learn and make sure I can do my job, but then like being inspired in the process because of not just how he writes, but how his brain works, and then how he is as a person as well. So I feel like I kind of maybe lucked up by not being such a fan ahead of time, because I got to be able to get to like actually experience him and become an actual fan and appreciate like what he creates, his work, and realize just how many people he's collaborated with. I mean, he has done so many collaborations from like De La Soul to like St. Vincent. Just like his catalog runs so deep, it's like even as a solo artist. And it's been really cool to like understand that, but I didn't. And then also being able to bring and invite like my homegirls, my friends who know nothing about David Byrne, and start to be inspired and be like, whoa, I had no idea what to expect, you know, and have genuine appreciation has been really cool too. Like to just open a new avenue of people up to his music.
It's really cool, and it is very inspiring. Like knowing nothing at the beginning and being on my feet before the end of the show. Do you know what I'm saying? We're on our feet before the show we're not even at bows. We are all. Oh, I know, I saw you guys too. I'm like, oh my goodness, I really like them. They're so awesome. You guys were so great. Like,
we always look for the Black people in the crowd.
Yeah, no, Tendayi, I told her about the flies in the milk, like where we look in the audience and we'll see like a young Black girl in the front row. Oh, we always look at each other and go,
yeah, there's the sweetest young little Black girl in the front row, and it was like, you're the reason.
You're the reason.
You're reminding me that I used to be that little girl one day. Yes, these are those moments.
I love that. Wait, Tendayi, I have a question for you. I didn't see you sweating at all. And I was watching you move up there. I was like, I know she's getting a workout. Those knees are getting up high. Those are some high knees. I don't see a drop of sweat. So what are you doing?
There's plenty of sweat. I just my counterpart, he sweats a little more than me, so I think he outshines me with his sweat.
That's what I was gonna say. He outshines.
I think he outshines me with his sweat because it's definitely there. Your girl is definitely working.
I'm splashing in it on stage.
No, not splashing.
I know. I'm like sprinkler after a couple of songs, sprinkler system. No, I mean, it's been a practice. Also, you know, I mean, I've toured with dance companies for a very long time, but the difference with doing the same show every night in the same theater on the same side of your body every night, that's become a new thing. Because I mean, it happened when touring, but I think we always had a little bit of space between shows for like your body to recalibrate. So I've just been having to go like really get myself together every day with yoga. I got Peloton,
nice,
got ice, doing like ballet classes when I have space to like just realign myself. And then myself and my partner, Greg Purnell, we are You Fly Mothership. So that's also just taking time to continue to just like improv in my body, which I do kind of on stage too, but
Nice.
making sure I do that before getting on stage with whatever we're creating, but then also just evening myself out and like, physical therapy.
We love a PT slot.
Good old PT, good old spa day.
And Angie, what about how do you keep it fresh? Both of you really like you're doing this 8 times a week and watching you from the audience, it feels so fresh. It feels like everybody on stage is present. Like I'm feeling I didn't see anybody checking out. And as a performer, I'm looking for it. I'm like, who's ready for this smoke break? I saw nobody.
Well,
Like,
we actually do 6 times a week. Luckily, I mean, if we did 8 times a week, our bodies would really feel it. We feel it with 6. On tour, we do like maybe 3 shows max per week.
The most, yeah.
3, 4 on a bad week. But, I feel like for me, it's a different show every day because it's a different audience. And, again, touring really helped us build that camaraderie. So we know each other. We know our personalities and, we all care about each other. And so it's not like we're blindly going up there with people who we haven't spent time with. And, living on a bus with people for 10 months can really create a bond that won't go away. And that bringing that I think that the tour is what made Broadway what it is. And, honestly, I preferred touring just because it was just like, that's the kind of pace I like to go at. And, the business side is a little bit different, but it's, I think we're just a family. We're all different personalities. It's like a gumbo. If you make gumbo, all these different ingredients that are their own separately, and you put it together, and it still works. So,
we love a gumbo.
David's got the crab legs because that crab legs be slapping me.
Shut up right now!
I'm so hungry right now. I'm so hungry.
It must be crab legs, and we gotta I feel like even throughout the show now, it's almost choreographed as moments where everybody connects with each other too. Mm-hmm. Or it's like at this song, at this lyric, this is when I look at this person or that person. I feel that helps us keep each other checked in throughout the show.
And we know each other's parts too. So if somebody messes up, we kind of wink at the person.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Can I ask you guys about like your hair journey? Because it seems, and I don't know, but it seems like you guys, like what I'm seeing right now, this is who you are. And this is also who I saw on the stage. So what was the conversation in the hair department when you guys came to Broadway regarding your hair?
Can I start on this? Because there's never a conversation with hair, and Black hair care in the entertainment industry is very difficult. I lived in LA, did shows on sets, and nobody knew what to do with my hair. It was foreign to them. When I was with Cirque du Soleil, we had to travel city to city, and they would send everyone to the Aveda salon. I'll never forget the time they sent me there. The guy, he's just so excited. He said, "Oh, wow, I've never got to work with ethnic hair before."
Next.
And I said, "And you're not going to start today." And I got up. My hair looked like shit for I'm sorry. It looked like, my mane looked like shit for 3 years because I just let it grow out and nobody could take care of it, traveling across Canada. And so it's really hard. We don't have a hair department in this show. Very fortunately for me, Tendayi's partner, Greg Purnell, is a master barber, and he's been cutting my hair for
come through.
He's been cutting actually the hair up, and as a Black barber, he knows all hair textures, whether it's white or black or anything in between. So he's cut David's hair, he's cut a bunch of the drummer's hair, bass player. So thanks to Tendayi for coming along and bringing Greg as well. Because
nice. Did they like low key hire him, Tendayi?
Well, we were able to work it out where he was able to be hired for the film when we did Spike's film. So
Spike Lee, y'all.
Spike Lee.
Come on! That's amazing. First name. Go on.
But yeah. So we were able to work it out where he came on and did the hair for everyone within the film. And it started from, of course, me joining the tour and then him coming out to visit me, and he helped me to teach myself how to cut, like at least my sides, to upkeep myself while touring, because I didn't want to trust just walking into any shop, because I've been really spoiled. I've had locks my whole life since I was 3 years old, so I've constantly dealt with pulling my hair back and things like that for dance and ballet and all this stuff. And he's the first person that shaved my sides and have for the rest of my whole relationship. So I was like, I can't just go to another barber while I'm on tour. So luckily he taught me to do enough where I could upkeep my sides. And then when he would come to visit, he would always bring his clippers when he traveled. So it worked out with starting to take care of my hair and then me sending out a message of like, hey, I know everybody's kind of struggling to look and feel their best. You know, you want to feel good. And
Yeah,
look
you're
good.
on stage.
Yeah, and and he's always, I mean, just always just willing to give, especially when it comes to his craft. So he was willing to do it and travel with his clippers, and when either went to hotel rooms or they all came to our hotel room like a little travel shop, and it's continued. Where
We
now people
love.
come to Brooklyn to get their cut if they need it, and
Nice.
so
I
that's
mean, it's
kind of
quite the journey, but it's worth it.
like, yeah, if you want to come to Brooklyn,
It
just
is
go to.
worth it. I mean, just looking at you both, like your hair looks bomb. And I was thinking that while I was in the audience, like, come through. We got like designs and stuff in there. It looks
Yeah.
it looks so good. And I love that you guys were able to like just be you on the stage.
It's really a blessing. I mean, I say that a lot when people ask about this show. I mean, I grew up musical theater head also as far as like just, arts baby, as we all do. And, you could be in any kind of show and you think of what Broadway is to you if you're going to put on this crazy, extravagant costume. And, it's like, what are the chances that out of anything, like we get to have this Broadway debut in this amazing show and get to be just the best versions of ourselves? And do what we do, and that be enough, if not more than, to add to like create this whole world on stage. And David giving the space for that too, because he could, handle it however he wanted to. It was like, world famous, rock and roll Hall of Famer. He could have, had any kind of personality to how he wanted to run his show, technically.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that it's continue to feel so inclusive, even from when I first joined, is definitely continues to make a difference for sure.
That's been kind of a hard thing for me, is like moving once the show is over, sad face, as a musician, it would be, I don't know if I could ever do another Broadway show. It would be really hard for me to go from this and be under the stage in a pit. And I never wanted to do that. I've never, I mean, before this stage show, like Cirque du Soleil, we're in costume on stage playing, other artists I played with on stage playing. I've never seen myself as a Broadway musician. I don't consider this a Broadway show. I consider it a concert that with a story that happens to be on Broadway.
Yeah. And I feel like people are treating it like that too.
Yes.
Like people have picked up on the point that this is like a concert. I think sometimes a little too excited, but still they show up and they're like, I'm getting a story, I'm getting inspiration, and I'm getting just good live music.
Totally. And that's how I felt too. I'm like, oh, wait, this is a concert, but I'm like, but I'm in a Broadway theater. I need to stay seated.
Yeah, exactly. And people were asking, what's the plot? And I just read a comment recently, because they're like, oh, there are only a few weeks left of the show. And somebody said, is David Byrne in this production?
Like, he is the production. What do you
Well,
mean?
that's the thing. It's like, I just finished the Britney Spears musical. Britney's not in it. I did the beautiful, like the Carole King musical. Carol wasn't in it. So
Tina's not in it. Yeah.
You think when something's happening so frequently in the week, the star who you're like honoring, of course they're not in it. So it's so cool that he is in it. Like, it's so awesome. And also, I just wanted, before we totally move on, I just wanted to say I'm so sorry that they sent you to the Aveda salon, Angie. Like,
not this show. This was back in another
yeah, when you were on tour with like with whoever, like that is
that's with the circus.
with the circus. Like, that is not, it doesn't feel good. It feels good when you have people who know what to do in the room.
Yeah, I mean, and there aren't really, when you see someone you recognize. I remember when I joined that production, there was another Black girl, like people from all over the world were in it, like 25 countries or something. And she said to me, I felt so much better when you walked in, because I came into the show later than most of the cast and performers. So it's just seeing a familiar face. And a lot of my white friends don't have to deal with that. And
no,
I went to a bar or something up in Harlem with a white friend, and she was like, I said to her, this is where I feel like in the rest of the world pretty much all the time. because she never has to notice it
Wow.
because she always sees the commonality. She doesn't have to think about that stuff. And I'm like, this is me in the suburbs of Wisconsin. And so she's like, oh, wow. I'm like, now you notice you're the only one in this room.
Yeah. And on tour, we would try to make ways of like people coming to visit us overseas to bring Black hair care products. Like I would have my mom like, can you bring some Carol's daughter? You know, can you bring some Shea
She brought
Moisture?
me something.
Yeah, I was like, I need to bring two, one for me, one for Angie, because we're in Australia
Wow.
and we can't find anything to moisturize our hair.
Yeah,
know?
I'm like, kangaroo cream ain't gonna work for me. And
Oh,
No, no vanilla.
Oh my goodness.
I remember when I was living in south of France, I found, well, this is when I used to relax my hair. Thank God I stopped because I don't want brain damage, and it's not even made by Black people. But anyways, I found a relaxer kit in a market with covered in dust next to some tortillas. It's like in France.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, when did you go natural, Angie?
Ooh, it's been maybe like 7 years. Not too long. Not too long. I'm glad I did. Oh my God.
It looks very healthy.
Thank you. Thank you. I take care of it.
Was it always, did you always trim it up on the sides? Was that like a shift?
No, I used to be trimmed on the sides through my 20s, trimmed on the sides, and then it was relaxed on the top. So just like pretty much this, but straight. Sometimes it would hang over. I used to have my hair really long, like when I was a teenager, but it was just very, relaxer kits. And yeah, I mean, I'd go get it done, whole thing. But that's kind of like, it's sad. Like society almost tried to make us not love ourselves and think like this is what beauty should be. And that's definitely not the case. And more people are embracing that now and just your natural beauty. So
yes,
I'm trying to get some more of my family members to join that, but they're still very.
Oh, every time I go home, Angie, my family's like, so what are you going to do with your hair?
Wow.
I know they're trying, but it's still
it does it every time.
And what about you, Tendayi? Like you mentioned, you did ballet like from a young age. Did I hear that right? And no, that you had your locks since you were 3, and I'm wondering how was that going to a ballet class with locks?
Oh, I mean, growing up in general with locks has been a journey. Because I was born in DC, but I also grew up in Buffalo for a chunk of years before moving to Atlanta. So those years in Buffalo, New York, as a little Black girl with locks and an African name was very interesting, to say the least. A lot of like trying to self-identify. My mother has locks as well as my aunt. So luckily I was always able to find like examples, but it's very interesting now seeing just how much just like natural locks and faux locks and all this stuff is just like taken over. And I'm like, wow, where were all of y'all? Were y'all making fun of me in school?
Where was all y'all?
I used to be teasing me and talking all this mess about me and calling me, Medusa and stuff like that.
And now you got yours in.
Now you got a whole Instagram based off of you and your locks.
Heifer.
Wow.
Right. Where was you?
It's been a journey. I mean, even going into Spelman, I love my sisters, but I saw so many transitions of women going in with natural hair and graduating with straighteners, going in with straighteners and graduating with locks.
Come on.
I feel like having locks my entire life, I've always wondered if I wanted another hairstyle, but I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't picture it. It just was like a part of me, I guess, maybe. And shaving my sides was my way of creating some type of shift or change. Who knows what'll happen down the line, but it's definitely been
blonde.
Blonde? Maybe. I mean, I used to have blonde locks. I might just shave it all off. Who knows?
Ooh. Literally, I'm here for it. The way both of you wear your hair is so beautiful, and I am gonna let you go soon, but there's something that I really wanted to ask you about. And during the show, like, I love the journey that I went on as an audience member of being like, I can't believe I don't know. Like, now I'm able to say I can't believe I didn't realize who that was at the start of the show. Enjoying the groove, being like, oh wait, this is a bop, this is a jam, being like, oh, oh, I know this song now. I realize who he is. Into him asking about the Janelle Monáe song, and then going into that, and you guys are literally saying the names of of the people who have been killed during, I mean, pretty much our whole lives, but now it's being like captured on camera, on film, and everything. And
Mhm.
uh, I was a mess. I was a big old ball of tears, and I'm wondering, how is it for both of you as Black women singing that song, playing that piece? How are you able to keep it together every night?
Hmm.
It sucks. It sucks, especially because when the song was written, none of the names we're singing existed. None of the, well, no, they existed, but they were, they weren't victims of police brutality at that point. They were still alive and living their lives when this song was written. The song keeps being updated, unfortunately. And it is hard. It's hard. I'm looking at the audience. I'm like, are they singing? Is this registering? Are they just kind of like not taking it seriously? And it's hard to tell the reactions now with the masks on. On tour, we had people walk out. I think in Tampa, Florida, guy like flipped us off, and you see the words bullshit, and he like kind of leaves the theater. Some people were upset about it. But it's not something to be taken lightly. And I look around at my other band members to see what their expression on their face, if there's some kind of life or something, because it could be any of us. We could be those names. And so I take that song very seriously. It's probably one of the most important songs in the show, and I'm glad David wanted to do that song.
Me too. I'm sorry. Go. You
Yeah.
can.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, when I even got called to do the show and like saw the set list and watched the show, you know, David, he's an amazing artist and it's an honor to work with him. But seeing that he included this in the lineup of the show is what made me agree to it. That's what made me say yes to doing the show at all. Um, I mean, specifically because of, feeling you have a duty in some way to your community. And if I'm going to be dancing and singing with this white man, I need to be very clear on how I'm holding space as a Black woman in a tour, in a show, in the message, and not just saying yes because of who he is.
Mm,
Um, but
mm.
saying yes because I even with who he is and what this show will be, it's gonna be, it is his show, but I want to be clear that I am still fulfilling something within my own artistic integrity to validate doing this every day, no matter the paycheck, no matter the tour or the city, and making it still mean something. So that definitely was the main reason why I said yes. It used to be really, really emotional for me. And then I had to calm down because I was like, "Okay, girl, you're gonna get yourself an asthma attack, get crying and singing and yelling and shouting and
Wow.
and I mean, I think the fact that me and Angie go out together and say these names together every night says something too. It's like the two Black women in the cast calling out these names because it is hard with the mask to tell. But I do know it's like because there's an order of how each person calls out the names. And when David goes, it's sometimes since it comes right after burning down the house, people might be a little timid or being like, okay, we're just going to watch him call out the names. And then I feel that when we step forward after him, it's like, no, for real.
For
Like call
real.
out these names because it's not just him.
Right.
We are telling you these names. And like Angie said, like this could be us who you're looking at right now. So if you feel some kind of way, how do you think we
How do you
feel?
think
Oh
we
yeah.
feel?
And
You
coming to
know?
that, remember on tour,
Mhm.
like they treat us. Sometimes we'd be treated differently when you're off stage versus on stage.
Oh yeah.
One of my good friends, he called it being a Negro of value. He's like, people,
Mhm.
like I've had people treat me differently, and then they find out who I'm playing for, and then
Mhm.
they're like, oh, actually, that happened to me today on a phone call earlier.
Mhm.
He's like, wait, that was you, and then the whole dynamic changed. Then all of a sudden, they're like,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
we
they
got to
get
Uh-huh.
regulate
less
it.
confused.
Respectful, and nice, and more open to listening to me. And
Right.
it's
Not to mention
Wow.
people
That's
dress
something that
confused,
happened.
and people think Angie sings and dances and thinks I play guitar. That's
Yeah, once
another
we're off stage,
conversation.
yeah, they just don't. Oh, people get mixed up. People, I am guilty of mixing people up before, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like when you're on stage, they're like this, and when you're off stage, I mean, you can just walk on, you don't exist. I mean, and I do
Yeah.
look taller when I'm on stage. When I come off stage, yeah, I'm a little. I mean,
No.
I'm a big person, just not in physical form.
Yeah. But no, it's been, that song specifically has been, I mean, it's a call to action.
Yes.
And we've been gracious enough to have some of the families also come to the show. Some of the families of DJ Henry, family of Amadou Diallo, family of
I think
forgot
George
who else
Floyd,
came.
someone from George
Maybe
Floyd's
George
family.
Floyd. Spike
Yeah.
Lee was able to bring some of the families when we did the filming. So that just makes it that much more real. And to meet
Whoa.
Janelle Monáe while we were on tour,
That's cool.
to just like, you know,
In Austin,
that
Texas.
passing of the torch. So I appreciate, like, you know, just the other check marks that happen to continue to keep some alignment. So we're not just saying the names for saying it, for saying it. So, like, there's
Mm-mm.
still some action involved.
There
you
were
know?
people all around me, including myself. We were yelling the names back.
Mhm.
I was weeping. My friend next to me just held my hand. Like it was a moment, and I'm just thinking about you guys up there. Like, man, you guys have to like perform. You guys have to be up on stage and do this more than once.
Yeah.
It's hard with the family. I'd always choke up to the point where I could hardly sing when the families were in the audience. Just like, damn, this is, and I don't even want to say pleasure to meet you. I'm not happy to meet you because the reason I'm meeting you is because your baby or someone you love got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we used to do, when we did this song on tour, this was just the last song. Like this was it. And then we would leave.
Oh,
So
snap.
it was like it was a real drop the mic moment, you know? And so now within the Broadway, it's like we drop the mic and then we pick it back up and say, but we can find space to grow together, you know, with a sense of hope leaving. So that has been a shift. And I've always said of like, oh, if you think it's like jarring from burning down the house to saying these names, think of like burning down the house of patriarchy, burning down the house of racism. Think about that. And like, and that's kind of the connection I've made of how David made that transition of finding a way for that song to be in the show and it still create like a thread. So yeah, no, we used to just
It's powerful.
drop the mic.
That is crazy.
Depending on what city we were in as well.
What a freaking moment to drop the mic on that song. But like, I feel like I had decided, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm loving this show. I'm loving this show. And then that happened. And I was like, oh.
Mm.
Oh. And it made me like David more. I'm like, okay. All right, so he's not just surrounded by all these bomb artists of color and like all over the world and the States and everything. It's like, no, he believes this too. For him to put this in his show, like that was big for me. So I'm just.
You ready for a tearjerker? No, we had, when we traveled different countries, we learned to sing it in Spanish and Portuguese as well. So we sang it in Portuguese in Brazil. I said, ready for a tearjerker.
Come on.
And places in Central America, Mexico, we sang it in Spanish. We would find victims of police or types of brutality, and we'd learn different names. Was it in Portuguese? Giga do Midela, Grite do Midela. I can't remember.
Come on.
Yeah. But then what was weird is when we got to Europe, I'm like, let's sing this in French. Let's sing it in German. But we were moving too quickly, and
that's
it'd be harder. But it was interesting to me that in the European countries, we went back to the English version. But
wow. I thank you guys for sharing that. Like, that was just and like final question, so I can let you guys go. How, and this is related and unrelated to the last question, how is it for both of you being a Black woman in visible places? I mean, that's what you do in your career, but like right now in this moment in history, being visible and Black, how is that for you?
Being visible even on stage or in
I
life?
mean, like, you mentioned that little girl sitting in the front row, little Black girl watching you guys on stage. What does that mean to you?
Well, I like Tendayi said, I remember being in that place. You know, there's so much more that goes on. I mean, this is a rough industry. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, and you have to be willing to push through the boundaries. And you know, I've pushed through more than our parents, our mothers have gotten us to a certain place, and then we're taking it to a certain place, and then hoping the next generation can go further than that. We're still dealing with a lot of obstacles, but being able to at least have the space and the platform to speak on these issues and not feel like this.
Yeah.
That's important. And just knowing your value as an artist, as a person, and knowing your contributions, because people like to exploit you. In the industry, they like to have you up and center to promote something. Not this show in particular, but I'm saying you have to know your worth. And I've been in situations where I'll get paid less and do more than the white guy next to me. Not in this show. I'm just saying, coming back to knowing your role. And so it's very important. I just say stand your ground, hold your place, and know your worth.
I love that.
Whatever it is, think of a number in your head, charge double, add tax.
Oh,
that part.
Let me write that down.
If this is your goal, you tell you want this, and then you go in that gray area, and you're good. And I'm not talking just about money. I'm talking about everything, just energy and
worth.
Know your worth as a person, as a performer, because we've been used for years, and all the things they said they didn't like about us, they do it anyways for their benefit, and just like knowing this stuff now.
I love it. I'm literally taking notes. That's amazing.
I'll Venmo you.
Tendayi?
I was thinking just about the fact that just the representing the multitudes of Black women, womanness, womanhood, feminine, like there's so many versions of us as beautiful Black beings, as beautiful Black women. And so I think just feeling like a Skittle in the bag of that, and knowing that we're variety. We are a variety in ourselves, and showing that there's not one version of Blackness. There's not one version of Black women on stage performing. There's not one version of Broadway performers. There's not one direction to get there. I think that's been the coolest part, and that just there's always space to find your tribe in whatever way that is, and making each space your own. I feel like just the fact, like I've said, just David giving that space for us to not have to cut off any parts of ourselves, whether it's a solo, whether it's an improv, whether it's an extra riff, whether it's a fill, whatever it is, him giving space for that. And knowing that we have our own voice, that we can speak up if something's not right, if something's uncomfortable, if something does not feel good, having the advocacy to do that, and holding that value, holding that worth in the space. So it's been amazing to see that little Black girl. Just one of those other moments of just reminds you why you do it, how you got the idea in your first place, that you wanted to be on stage performing all night, every night. It was like, oh, that's where that idea started. I'm tired, but I guess this is where I got this idea from.
And now they're looking at you. It's amazing. You both are so amazing. Thank you guys so much for coming on Black Hair in the Big Leagues, and for sitting down with me for a little while. How can people find you and follow you?
Come to the show. We need people to buy tickets. You can find me
there. Yes, come to the show.
American Utopia.
Instagram at the Angie Swan.
And I'm at Who's Tendayi, and my collective work with my partner at You Fly Mothership.
Love that. Y'all, you heard it here first. Go get tickets for American Utopia on Broadway. It's so good. It's so great. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one. Take care of that microphone.
Oh, yeah.